What is going on, Aztec Nation? It is the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Got to turn on the light in here. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode. Apparently, we had an earthquake with the hosted Montezuma podcast. Their live stream, there was an earthquake 4.5 in the area. So hope everybody's doing okay. Hopefully, they're doing okay. Okay, all right.
Earthquakes, Armageddon down there, dude.
Let's see. What are we going to talk about today, guys? What do you think we're going to talk about today? I don't know, but you know what? I think we need to hear a little fight song.
Let's go.
I'm not going to sing it. I'll let you guys sing that while you're watching. Hopefully, we're not having any technical difficulties because that earthquake, I think did a number on my computer. Maybe. Let us know if you guys are doing okay. If you could hear us, you could see us. We hope you can. My name is Mateo. You can find me at Mateo San Diego on Twitter. And joining me are my sidekick co-hosts. They keep me sane when the Aztecs drive me crazy and get me a little not nervous, Fiend, not nervous. But you know him. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He is the one and only SD Sports Fiend. How are you doing, Fiend?
I'm good, man. Got an Aztec victory. I was a little nervous there at halftime. I didn't know if we were going to hit how many threes we were going to jack up and how many we were going to hit. But second half definitely was a different animal, and very excited that we came out with a pretty nice win there.
Yes. It's a victory Wednesday. Always feeling good, despite what this week brought us. Got the win. Mr. Mike Tortolot, how are you doing? Mr. Mike?
What's up, guys? Big win last night. Excited to go into a break with a W. So we'll get into it here in a minute, I guess.
Yeah. So you guys joining in the chat, thank you. Yes, Sarah, an earthquake. Like we said, there was a 4.5. The E-host, it hit them right when they were recording. And, didn't know how bad it was. We got on the search real quick. It was 4.5 and somewhere in the area. Big O in Marietta felt it really, really strong. So SD Born and Raised is telling us 4.2 near San Bernardino. Hope everybody's well. We are feeling good. We're not going to let a little earthquake stop us. I didn't feel it, Angelica. Neither did Angelica. I didn't feel it. But we thank you guys for joining us anyways. And like we said, the Aztecs came out victorious last night. And 81-65 over Wyoming. Now, me and Fiend were talking as we were getting ready to go live, and he asked me, was I feeling nervous in this game? And, I said this was a trap game. I got a little pushback. People saying, oh, you guys should beat them by 20. You guys should beat them by this and that. It's not a game you guys should worry about. And we got to halftime, and that was, we were down. And then what did Trammell, did he tie it or take the lead there at the buzzer? And so that leads us into some of our highlight performances. Of course, we've got to talk about Mr. Lamont Butler. 23 points, 10 of 14 field goals, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. Mr. Butler was everywhere last night. He was really showing some of the things that only Lamont could do. Fiend, when you were watching him all the way from your chair, and just seeing, 10 of 14, man, super, super efficient. Of course, the lockdown D. But Wyoming, as we said, leading into this game, we knew they had fantastic guard play. Seeing what they were up against with our backcourt, I mean, what did you think of Mr. Butler's performance, man?
I feel like it was a breakout game. I mean, something that we've been waiting for a while. We all know that he is extremely talented, not only on the defensive end, but offensively too. And He just did such a great job of taking it to the rack. That spin move that he did on that guy, where he looked like a tornado, and that was amazing. I mean, he spun and then just laid it, just dusted that his defender, and then laid it up at the rack. And he does such a great job of getting downhill, getting to the hoop, hitting that mid range shot, getting steals. I mean, just hounding people on defense, and then taking care of the basketball. 4 assists, 0 turnovers. I mean, just great guard play, and great guard play is going to win you games. It's going to take you far in March, and we need more performances like this from Lamont Butler.
Absolutely, man. It was a breakout game, Mike. I mean, from your perspective, getting to watch it on TV and getting to hear the commentators, was there anything that stood out in the game? Maybe something they were talking about during the game, or just your perspective in general?
No, I mean I wish Lamont could play Wyoming every year. He had 23 against them last year. So I think the only 2 times he scored more 20 points is Wyoming. So he plays well against them, but he's just so aggressive, man. I've always said that about him. When he wants to be aggressive, he can be aggressive. He's almost sometimes unselfish to a fault, you know. Again, you go back to you don't break Reggie Miller's scoring record in high school because you're just okay, you know. So he is like we talked about it last year. When he wants to get to the hoop, like he has a second gear that he's just like the Flash. He goes by him, you know. So he played well, and you compare him with Darian. I think they both scored double figures for the first or second time this year. Not many this year, if any, except for that game. So I mean, we know, like we said, we know what we get with Lamont. You know what I mean? So hopefully he just kind of takes off and has more performances like this, especially stuff in the staff sheet like he did.
Yeah, did a little bit of everything on the court, and I mean, he's one of the rare guys that can really do that, especially on the defensive end. I'm seeing the comments, loving his aggressiveness, everything that we've all said, like what you're just saying, and I mean, he's got that first step burst, and to see him knock down these shots at home, right? Get the crowd on your side, feeling good. But let's talk about some of the other guys as well. We got to show, of course, Jaden Ledee, 17 points, 7 rebounds, and his free throws, 36 minutes. Now, obviously, this was a big game for anybody else, right? But it was good to see, Butler and, of course, Darian Trammell. We were. I think Mike was calling for, okay, who else is going to step up? Give Ledee that help, and man, the guys came to the rescue. Loved what I saw with Darian. He's so crucial, man. He's so crucial to this team. And, him coming off the bench, like what you're saying, Fiend, come March, you need that guard play. I was really impressed with Darian's performance. Any thoughts on Mr. Trammell's night, Fiend?
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, what's the running count on how many buzzer beaters at halftime he's hit this year? I mean, it's got to be like, what, this is 3rd or 4th? I think I don't know how many, but it's several. I mean, he's just been clutch. He's put it in the ball in his hands at halftime and let him do his thing, and he's been clutch in those moments. But yeah, his ability to attack the glass. That and one that he had in the game where he went after the big, took it to the hoop, like hung up in the air, and then as the big was coming down, that's when he threw the ball up and scored the bucket and got the free throw, and had a couple of great mid-range shots. Had some good 3-pointer. He was fantastic, especially in the second half. That run that we had, that we kind of pulled away from Wyoming, he was the crucial piece in that run that kind of put Wyoming away. And so fantastic game from Darian. Love how the guards played, especially in the second half.
And he's sneaky good on the defensive end. Sneaky good on the defensive end, getting those passing lanes, getting those steals.
Taking care of the ball too. No turnovers between him and Butler. No turnovers. And I mean, only 1 assist, but hey, he's not turning the ball over. So 5 assists, 0 turnovers. Kudos to those guys. That's what we need from our guards.
Definitely. I want to show a little clip before we take it any further talking about this game and the team. You know, anytime I hear Coach Dutcher, it's so sobering. It's like, you know, we're at the games going crazy. We're on emotional highs, just cheering the team on, getting wrapped up in the fun and the excitement of it. And I was definitely this game. I want to listen to Coach Dutcher because his post game presser it's always great to hear, so insightful, and you hear it straight from him. So let's take a listen.
Wyoming, last year at their place, they didn't guard Keshad. They sagged on Lamont. We found a way to win, and it was a close game. Today, they don't guard our foreman, Elijah, J. Pal, sagged a little bit on some other guys. And these guys work at their game, so I don't mind them taking early threes. You know, if they're making them, then maybe we blow the game open early. But we missed enough where it got to the point where we said, well, let's just duck them in instead. And we have all that in our offense. Come off ball screens and duck in those guys instead of having them on the perimeter where they can't help on Jaden as much. They can't help on the guards when they're driving because they have to guard. They can't ignore a guy under the basket. That's an adjustment we made in the first half, carried over to the second half. They're dangerous offensively. You know, they just put 98 or 99 on Nevada their last game and made 13 threes. I think they made 9 against us. So they shoot the ball at a high level. So in second half, I think they end up shooting 35% from the field, which is good enough to build the lead. And we turned the ball over twice, which I think is a program low.
Talking about those turnovers, probably a program low for turnovers. And I was really concerned about that just as far as Wyoming's guard play, but really showed to dominate. Mike, I wanted to play that just for you. Just for you, because I know it was a little bit of you know, a little bit of an uproar. I wouldn't say uproar, but you know, you had some strong takes last episode, and I loved it because you know I think you really spoke to the truth. And me and Fiem were kind of talking a little earlier as far as Coach Dutcher's like his approach and how really he has such a command of what he wants to do. And so much wisdom on how to get it done. When you saw those threes going up early and they were going in real early, I know we had some words on the text. What were your thoughts when you saw those threes going in and then all of a sudden they didn't go in?
I mean, like, you know, I was like, oh shoot, they're shooting spike threes for me. You know what I mean? So like, hey, like Dutch said, listen, by the way, I mean, listen, we're fans. We're not in the you know, the slums with him about all the stuff's going on. He's obviously more intelligent than we are in basketball because he's where he's at, where we're at, right? But as a fan watching the game, you heard what he said. I don't mind them taking early threes. He doesn't say threes. He said early threes. He also says I like to give them the carte blanche to shoot because that's kind of, hey, if you play defense and do it way, I don't have, you know, problems with certain shots. But again, like, listen, it drove me insane because you make 1 or 2 and I'm like, all right, here we go, dude. And then you miss what, 7, 8, 9 in a row. And you have 0 turnovers in the first half and you're only up by 2 because Trammell made another shot at the buzzer. That's a problem for me, dude. That's a real world for me. You're up by 2 with no turnovers in the first half, and you're shooting what, 4 of 19 from 3-point land. You know, we're a very exceptional mid-range shooting team. If you watch the games, we have great mid-range shooters, and we should take advantage of that. And look what happened in the second half. They stopped shooting all those threes. They started going to the rack. They started mid-range threes, and they started building a lead. They went on a 28-8 run. So yeah, I mean, it's not my team. That's just my opinion as a fan. You know what I mean? Like it, love it. I don't care. Hey, if you don't like me, there's probably something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So it's like that's how I look at it is, okay, you fall in love with it. You better make them or adjust. And we were able to win that game. Like I was looking at the stats here. We shot 71% from 2 against Fresno State. 71% from 2, 22% from 3. 53%. You want these numbers? Are we going stats? Yeah, stop it.
Are you reading stats right now?
Yeah, because it drove me nuts. Because last night I was like,
oh my,
dude, let's look.
He's coming over to the dark side.
50, to the 3-pointers, right? 71% from 2 against Florida, Fresno State, 22% from 3, 53% from 2 against UNLV, 31% from 3, 53% from 2 against San Jose State, 33% from 3. Obviously, we throw in New Mexico, which is an outlier, 43% from 2, 31% from 3. Nevada, 53% from 2, 23% from 3. Boise, 59% from 2, 25% from 3. This is a lot. 6.57% from 2 versus Wyoming and 26.7% from 3. Like, dude, that's a big difference. That's a big difference to me. Like, that shows me, okay, the highest you have is 33% of all those things. 23%, 22% is lowest. Hey, like let's just look at you're a very good 2-point shooting team, dude.
You're getting me
I'm
hot.
so
You're getting
proud of you,
really
Mike.
hot.
I'm
Figure it
so
out, man.
proud of you. Oh my God.
You're welcome.
Getting too hot with all this,
Oh.
all these
Does that make sense though? Like, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, so we shot 49% or whatever from the field, but 22% from 3. You average them out. I know I've graduated from state. I can do simple math, but like that's a pretty wild disparity to me. 71% versus 22 and 68% is 26. Like, that's, I don't know, that's about 40%. That's a lot. So, and that goes back to my, you stop shooting the crazy threes in the second half, and you start making mid-range. I mean, look at Reese Waters, look at Trammell, look at these guys, even Jaden. Like, I feel like when Jaden posts up from the elbow or something, like, more often than not, he's going to make that shot. So I don't know. I mean, hey, do what you do, but you know how I feel about the threes.
Fiend, can I was sitting with Andy, we were watching the game, and of course Micah hit the first one, Elijah hit the next two, and I'm looking at Andy and I'm like, dude, I mean, if you're open, you have to shoot it. If you got that open shot, you have to take it. They weren't hitting eventually, but I agree with you, man. I'm all about, and maybe this dates me. I'm a little bit of an old timer, right? Like, I have a trouble watching the NBA game these days because I don't like all the threes. I'm an old school guy. I love position basketball. I don't like so much all this positionless game that we're in nowadays, but it is what it is. I'm I'm an old timer. I like taking it to the rim, aggressive, hard in the paint. Get those twos, get those and ones, get the team in foul trouble. Excuse me. So all the threes is just not from my era that I love watching. When I was a kid in the 90s. That's just my take. But I hear you. We're effective. I mean, when you got Jay Ledee who could hit those threes occasionally, right? He's got a really good percentage. But the bread and butter is down low. What you got, Fiend?
Well, I'm just flabbergasted by Mike. I can't believe he spit out all those numbers, and I feel like I have had something to do with that. So, just you make me proud, Mike. So to your point, mid-range 2, 77.8% last night, 7-9. That was the highest percentage, even higher than shooting at the rim. We were 12 of 16, 75%. So yes, we are an exceptional mid-range 2-point shooting team. And we're just not good at shooting threes. But that, credit to Wyoming, because they knew that we are not good at shooting the three, and that was their strategy. They identified guys who are struggling from hitting the 3-point line, and they just said, they dared them, said, hey, here's all this space, take a shot. We don't think you can hit it. And they stuck with that strategy, and the averages played out, and so I just think it's really interesting if you read Ziegler's article about the 3 thoughts, how Dutcher didn't tell them at halftime, hey, do not shoot. That's not what he does. He gives them the green light. You can shoot if you're open. If you practice these shots in practice, you can shoot. But he just changed the strategy and brought the 4-man, the second big, inside, and they ran a double post, and they were just creating lanes for these guards to drive into the hoop and get layups. And so that's that. It's funny how they just changed, like, sort of the offense that they were running, and that they stopped shooting threes. And that's when we really started to cook in the second half. And I mean, it's just amazing how well we shot, especially like our effective field goal percentage, 74%. Man, that is awesome. Just love to see that. And when we're hitting shots like that and we're playing defense, good luck trying to beat us.
Mm-mm. Yeah, man. Wyoming is no slouch either. I mean, we've talked about it. Anybody could beat anybody. Apparently, as we saw last night as well, Air Force taking down UNLV. Right now, I'm watching Colorado State and Nevada. Right, Wyoming just beat Nevada. Well, Nevada's up on Colorado State right now by 3 now. Early, it's early, but just goes to show the point that anybody could beat anybody in this league right now. Credit to coach making those adjustments, and I think it was a teachable moment for sure. Right now, we're bringing in. He's busy. Oh yeah, look at this. It's Aztec flavor guy. What do we technically call you, man? Aztec flavor guys. Aztec flavor. What's going on, Guy Fieri from the show?
Yeah. Hey, thanks again for having me. Yeah, you told me to get a nickname. I thought about it for a second. I like Aztec Fire. I like Flavor Town. They don't really mix, but here we go. So,
How about Aztec Flava Flav?
Aztec Flava Flav.
Well, it's good to see you, man. It's always good to see you down there in the show. You were watching the game, and I know you have a couple of things to add on as far as what we're talking about. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Fiend kind of hit on what I was going to say, which is that yes, and also Dutcher also. It's just same as last year where they dared Butler and Keyshot and left them wide open, and they made that game real close. You know, we were a good team last year. They made it real close. But yeah, we were hitting the threes, and we weren't. And it was like, because I was thinking back to the Boise game, I was like, can we not? You know, so we went 8 for 30 from 3, which is, you know, good percent. But shooting, I don't know. Do we want to shoot 33s in the future, or do we only want to do that against teams that leave us open, or do we want to just play our ball and not? You know, so like you guys said, Dutch is better than all of us. But yeah, 8 of 30 from threes is definitely a stat. And then you guys were talking about turnovers. I'll join Mike with the numbers here, but they turned it over 15 times. We turned it over twice. Points off turnovers, Wyoming 0, SDSU 19. So, I mean, that I think that says a lot about the game. It was just turnovers and threes, in my opinion. But we got the win. It was close at half, not close at second half. So I'll take it, you know.
Absolutely. Well, took care of business at home. This is what you got to do. You handle business, stand on business, as they say.
Yep. And I guess
a little bit of a
UNLV, right?
Oh yeah,
of course. They got a wild season. I think we always have wild seasons. They got a wild season. They beat New Mexico, and then they lost by 1 to Utah State. They beat Boise by 4. They lost to Colorado State by 3. They got demolished at home by Air Force now, 90 to 58. I mean, so.
And I get it. That's the offense you got to prepare for, but
I know they're really volatile. So
yeah,
I was looking at the stats for that game, and they were brutal. I mean, brutal for UNLV. They could not hit anything. And then they couldn't stop Air Force. I mean, Air Force, they had like 3 or 4 guys that made like at least 3 or 4 threes.
Man.
I think they shot like 50% from the field. Anyway, I mean, UNLV, they're in trouble, man.
Yeah. I got one about Colorado State, and it's not much of a stat, or at least it's not numbers, but Nevada, Wyoming, and SDSU each have Colorado State as their next game. It's going to be a little rough on the Rams.
How's that happen?
Yeah. I guess the bye, but then still 3 teams, right? So it's pretty wild.
Huh. We'll see. All right, Aztec Flavor, we'll check in with you in just another second. We're going to get back to some of these comments. All right, guys, I'm seeing some interesting comments in here. Mikey B, Wyoming playing a sag zone was tough to drive against. So, yeah, I mean, they left guys open like what Coach said. You got to take those shots. And, you know, I think just we did what we do best. Take it to the rim. Guys, what do you think about SD Aztecs fans saying need our guys to crash the defensive boards besides Ladie giving up too many offensive rebounds still? No. What do you think about that, Fiend?
I mean, I thought that we did a pretty good job. I think our guards are really doing a good job of crashing the boards. I mean, not just the big guys, but you got guys like Darian and Lamont, Reese, Micah. They're all chipping in to, you know, to get rebounds. And so, you know, we don't have Kashad. We don't have Nathan this year. So we need some of those guards to kind of pick up, that slack. But I think they've been doing a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, it's always encouraging when you see the guards picking up some rebounds. I know Reese Waters was adamant about it the other game, and he had a pretty good performance rebounding. Okay. Yes, Jay Powell is emerging as quite the blocker. His wingspan is ridiculous. I think people underestimate him when they try to post up or when they take it to the hole around him, and he's able to just swat things left and right. Very, very nice.
Hey, real quick, jumping back to Reese, what happened there? He had a little fire in him in the first half. Did you see the ref he was talking to him? I don't know if you guys saw that, but he was a little more vocal than I've seen him be. And he's not super vocal, but did you guys see that by chance?
I did not. No. What
Yeah,
are you
the
referring
ref
to?
talked to him or something. The ref talked to him or like kind of calmed him down a minute or something, but he was unpleased about something. And I don't see him get very animated very often. That might have been the first time, but that was interesting to me to see that. So I love that fire from him, man. I mean, he's
Yeah.
you
No, I did not see that. I did not see that. One thing I did see though, and we texted each other during the game, was when Bird had that steal and layup, and then he comes back down the court in the next possession and kind of tweaked something. I was really worried because he left the court for a bit of time, and I did you guys get a better look at it, Mike? I know you were watching at home, so I mean,
I didn't see.
come back.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. They just said he left and went to the locker room. Yeah, I know he went off the court. I didn't catch it, to be honest with you. So
I saw him go off the court, and they said it was a hip injury. He re-aggravated the hip injury. So, hopefully it's not too bad, and he's got a week to rest up. And he has had some nagging injuries. So, any rest that we can get that guy, is good because he needs to heal up. Like to have him, feeling healthy come this stretch run in February, heading into March. You don't want guys with lingering injuries going into championship season. So, man, what a alley-oop to DeMarche, though. That was one of the plays of the game. That was amazing.
That pick and roll, huh?
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, the comments are saying turf toe and a hip, and that's all I was thinking. Hopefully, it wasn't a turf toe.
Yeah, it did kind of look like turf toe because he kind of reached down. I thought it was almost like he was looking at it, trying to grab his foot. But I heard on the radio after, and John Schaefer's post game said that it was a hip. So yeah, I don't know.
The comments are also saying Angel was saying, Reese Waters was chirping after hitting that shot, and I agree. The refs let New Mexico kind of get away with all that chirping, but for our guys, for some reason, they have a close leash on our guys for some reason. Refs. What are you gonna do? I want to bring up a topic, interesting topic, guys, and I know it was in the chat a little earlier. And I've been noticing it. I noticed at the games that Monty Montezuma is running around the arena a lot lately. I don't know if it's necessarily something to bring up. If it's a hot button issue with some people, but I know in the chat that it was brought up, and that the people were not happy. I guess with his presence walking around and kind of cheering around. I don't know where that comes from. I remember we did a poll, and I'll be real honest with all you guys here. We did like a little walk around with my camera and my microphone at Viejas Arena one game last season. And I was asking people straight up, what do you think about the Warrior? Do you think we should have a mascot? Because we don't have a mascot currently. And I will tell you, 90% of the people there were totally fine with Montezuma as the mascot, totally fine with an Aztec warrior, what have you. And there was maybe one person who didn't agree with it, but it was kind of coming from an angle like, well, if it offends, the the natives or indigenous people, then I'm against it. But it was kind of like depending on that. So I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. If you guys have any thoughts about that, because we have been seeing him around the games a lot more. I think it's great. I think it's been a really nice touch at the games, getting the energy and just having that visual of seeing Monty out there again. I know on Twitter somebody I can't remember. I think it was Aztecs killing him. He's like, okay, it's time to turn the page on that. But what do you think about that, Mike? I kind of see you sitting upright when I brought that topic up.
I love Carlos, man. I think Carlos is great, dude. How old is he? And he still looks like that? I'm jealous, man. The dude's in great shape. I remember I went to a road trip with my pops back in the day when he was like in his prime. It was in Wyoming. It was friggin' cold, and he was in that outfit. So anybody who could run around like that and that thing is cool with me. And there's no Aztecs left. There's no Aztecs left. People want to be recreationally outraged about everything. Honestly, it's these spoiled little kids at school who have nothing else to do, and they just, I'm offended. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings, dude. Welcome to the real world. Put a helmet on. You know what I mean? Like it's just, if you're offended, cool. That's cool. That's your problem, not my fault. Your feelings aren't my problem. You know what I mean? So if you don't like it, just don't pay attention to it. Like there's going to be stuff in the world that I don't like. There's stuff in the world Fiend doesn't like. You don't like that. We just like whatever, dude. We can't do anything about it. But I think social media and all this stuff is giving people a platform to complain about shit all the time. And it's like, just let it go, man. Like you've tried to get rid of the Aztec for how long? We're Aztecs. That's our logo. That's our moniker. We don't have a mascot running around. Why not let him do it? Now, I don't know if he's affecting the game by, being in front of people and stuff like that. That might be different. That would be kind of upsetting to me. It's like, dude, get out of the way. But like the recreational outrage of this generation is completely ridiculous, dude. That's my opinion. Everybody can have their own, but I mean, just I don't know. That really upsets me when people like complain about stuff like that.
Now, credit, it was this specific question from Mr. Vandelay, our good friend Art Vandelay. And he says, what do you guys think about the old man Monty that's been coming to the games lately? Lots of people in my section not happy about him. So it wasn't him, it was people in his section. Fiend, what do you think about that? I mean, you were down in the show for a time when you were a student. So that energy, the antics that come with the show and them dressing up and, signs. And we saw some really, really creative signs this past game. One in particular about Ladie, which was awesome. Awesome. But I mean, so you get it, I mean, we're fans. We're coming from it from that perspective. What do you think about this whole thing with Carlos? And I mean, I'd love to have Carlos on the show sometimes. I need to make that happen.
Well, it's funny because I've had this conversation with people who are, adamant about bringing back the Aztec Warrior. And I said, well, if you want the Aztec Warrior to come back so bad, why don't you dress up an Aztec Warrior outfit and go to games, and you can be the Aztec Warrior. And guess what? There's now we have a guy who, was an actual Aztec Warrior, right? Carlos was the Aztec Warrior. I don't know what time period, but he was the mascot. And so he's just revived that to be part of his costume and to bring back the Aztec Warrior. And if he wants to do that on his own time and wear that at games, I certainly don't have an issue with it. I don't know why anyone else would have an issue with it, but I'll be honest. I'll be real. I have serious doubts that the university is ever going to bring back the Warrior. And that's just the way it is, I mean, but if he wants to come out and, be in costume and to honor the Aztec Warrior and that legacy and that tradition, more power to him. That's cool.
If you guys have been longtime listeners of our show, you know that we've talked about this issue a few times over the years. I actually had an interview with the head of the Save the Aztec Warrior Foundation for one time, and I never was able to release it, but it is a topic we've talked about. I agree with you, Fiend. I don't think the school will ever reinstate the Aztec Warrior as the official mascot per se, just because I think that time of using a human representation as a mascot, I think that that time has passed. But knowing that Carlos, is there at the games, I think there is room for having a representation of an Aztec warrior. It may not be official. And I think that's something that people need to kind of wrap their minds around, that, us here at Sons of Montezuma, we've been doing this for years, guys. This is like 6-7 years in the making, right? We are unofficial. We are strictly fans, alumni, diehards like you guys that are watching. And so there is a little bit that comes with that, right? So will they bring the Aztec warrior and make it official? I really doubt it. Is there room to create a new mascot? I believe there is. I'm seeing a lot of different ways to represent a culture or a civilization. We talk about, a Trojan. Yeah, they have the mascot that walks around. He's on the horse and he's got a sword and all that stuff. I am not offended by a human representation. Mike, I know you said all the Aztecs are gone. I consider, and most Mexicans, we do consider, with Mexican heritage, we do consider Aztecs to be our ancestry, but that's what it is, right? There's still people that speak the language down there. But
Let me ask you this.
It's not an offensive thing to me.
Right. You know who's offended? Mostly punk white kids. That's honestly, let's be honest. Everybody who's there it's all white kids who are just, oh, I'm offended. Dude, like, I deal with this guy was wearing like a poncho or whatever, and he's walking around in Mexico and he was asking people, and people were like, oh yeah, I'm offended. Then he talked to the locals and they're like, oh, we love it. We love how you dress up. And that goes back to recreationally outraged. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to have an opinion and about something and they have nothing else going on. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be offended. Like, dude, it's like, hey, you do what you do, but like, Carlos is a fan. He can wear whatever he wants. He's not a part of the thing. I think you want to have a mascot, you take the floor, make it like see-through kind of, and put a jaguar under there. Let's have a jaguar under the basketball court. He's running back and forth, South America, right? And so then you have that. There you go. Do something like that. I like Monty. I like Montezuma or Zuma or whatever
bring back Zuma.
Yeah, what happened to him? But I also think the school is so worried about using the term Aztecs that if you look at a lot of stuff, look at all the sporting events at San Diego State or it's SDSU. Very rare is Aztecs on there. I think the only thing that's on there is our road jersey for the basketball. San Diego State Ale. Aztec Ale would have been a better one. You know what I mean? So if you look at it, I think the school is worried about using the term Aztec because they're worried about hurting someone's feelings. I'll hurt your feelings.
I will say this. And I think we got to give the school some credit here, though, because they've done some really good things as of late. I think I see paying the honor. We just talked about Judy Porter and all that good stuff. I think there's a clear line that you do have to draw as far as you're not going to call a beer Aztec ale, right? I mean, you're not going to associate Aztec representation with alcohol. You're just not going to do it. So state ale, that was really the only path you could have done regarding that. So there are some boundaries that you do have to create. You want to depict the Aztec civilization, the culture with pride and dignity. So there are, you got to be careful when you're leading a university. Those are the decisions you kind of have to make and protect the brand. So I get it. But there are alternatives. I think when it comes to a mascot, there are alternatives that can be created. Not having anything, well, to me, that's worse than having a human walking around, because then to me that tells me, well, we're just going to whitewash Aztecs, that name. You're reducing my culture, my civilization, my heritage down to a font. You know what I mean? Like, what is that? You're reducing it down to a font or a color or a style or an icon. And there's so much more to my heritage than just a style of writing and a word. So
I get it. I mean, it's just, everybody like look at the Redskins. They changed the name to Commanders, and now I think there's some Native Americans who are suing the Commanders to change it back to the Redskins, and now they're offended. So it's like it's going to be 50-50. You know what I mean? You're going to have people who are like it and people don't like it and stuff. But I love Carlos, dude. Like he's been around since the 90s. You know what I mean? He's been in. He's got great genetics. He's got the legit genetics workout going on, man. So it's like I get where everybody's saying. For me, it's like I'm just at a point in my life where I'm just tired of everybody fucking complaining about everything, every little thing. It's like, dude, there's more important things. There's more important things in the world going on and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think we've become so soft about, oh, let's nitpick this. Let's nitpick this. There's a lot of weird shit going on in the world, man. We got to worry about that stuff. Let's worry about that instead of worrying about, oh, we're a Mascot. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I cannot confirm if this is the real deal. I cannot confirm if Carlos is in the chat. I do not know, but if he is, if you really are Carlos, we'd love to have you on the show sometime. Let's set that up. Love it. I agree, Angel. Don't gentrify the Aztecs. Perfectly put. I think that perfectly says what I was saying. Berkeley sucks.
Berkeley does suck.
Hey, we got our favorite visitor. Our favorite visitor. Guys, this isn't what we were originally gonna talk about tonight, but
hey, man,
whatever you guys want to talk about.
I want to talk about us playing better when not shooting threes. That's what I want to I think we have a good week off, man. And like I said, dude, like, hey, it just shows you the first half, threes, no turnovers, only up by 2. Second half, not as many threes, higher efficiency threes, fiend, and more shots in the paint. You know what I mean? Like, the proof is in the pudding, is in the eating of it. It's right there. It's right there.
Well, it's kind of like, if you're not hitting from the outside, right? You go get your medicine inside and you go get a bucket and you see the ball go through the basket. And then that gives you, more confidence that you can hit those shots from the outside. So that's exactly what the Aztecs got to do. When it's not falling outside, you got to go inside and get your points. And, good to see some threes the hard way, with the hoop and harm and ones. And I loved how they played in the second half, and extremely efficient offensively. And then we played good defense, solid defense throughout the game. So I'd love to see us make 2 halves like that, where we absolutely dominate a game. I think eventually, sometime this season, we're going to play a complete game. And hopefully it's several in the Mountain West tournament and into the NCAA tournament. But this team still has a ways to go. We've got some time. We've got at least another month here, almost 2 months, into the tournament, to the NCAA tournament, but about a month and a half before Mountain West Conference Championships. So we still got some time to improve, get some time off here this next week. The guys will be able to work on some things, and I like where we're at. I like where the Aztecs are at right now.
Thanks for bringing me
Aztec
in.
flavor.
I was bugging him. I was like, bring me in. I was not scripted here, but I was wearing this shirt because I was also, I think it was an away game a year or 2 ago, and they just gave me the shirt. But I completely agree. I mean, it's not like the university paints Aztecs as bloodthirsty savages and evil people or anything. It's a positive portrayal, And I really agree with what Fiend was saying, that we'll do it yourself, but that does only go so far, as you can see, but it's still good. I love what Carlos is doing. It's the next best thing, so I hope he keeps doing it, and he's certainly got the body for it. And then to what Mike was saying, I know you guys are all, but to what Mike was saying, though, I agree. And I have a friend who's Mexican who has some Aztec blood on his grandfather's side, and he shows up in the front row all the time. And it was one game he was giving out sombreros to a bunch of people, right? And everybody was loving it. I think one person was like, well, aren't you, they weren't offended, but they were like, aren't you scared somebody else is going to be offended? And he was basically, I don't give a, like, no, I don't care. That's the difference. That's the difference is most people like it when their culture is represented. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I think most people do. And it's just sort of, entitled rich kids that need to find something to be offended about.
Yeah. It's not like we're sacrificing people on altars at halftime, like the Aztecs used to do back in the day. Like, I mean, that's a whole different thing, right? I mean, that is historically factual, correct?
Yeah.
right? So it's
Exactly.
you look at the bright side of it, and like it's just I don't know. We could go on for this days, but you know what I'm trying to say, man. Like,
Do you guys know the name of the largest stadium in Mexico?
Azteca.
Yep.
Estadio.
It's
Azteca.
offensive if we do it. Estadio Azteca.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Aztec Flavor. We're gonna get back to talking some hoops. Okay, we gotta round things out because it's getting to that point. Okay, next game. What is the next game, guys?
Colorado State next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Now
Or
we still got
Tuesday,
a little
Wednesday.
ways from now. We got some
Wednesday.
time from now. But if we're looking at the standings and I'm looking at New Mexico, they're taking on San Jose State. I know Sarah called a upset victory for the Spartans. I'm not sure if I'm seeing that happen. But New Mexico's looking good, man. They're taking care of business. You're looking at the standings down there in the corner. They're showing to be impressive. How are we looking against the next couple games? I know we got Colorado State and then who is it? Utah State, right?
Yeah, Utah State at home after we play Colorado State on the road.
Yeah.
This is the game I think we got to win on the road. You get a week to prepare. We're gonna have more rest than Colorado State. Yeah, we're playing at altitude in a hostile environment, but I think we match up pretty well with them. We have good defenders, guards who can, guard their guards, who shoot the ball well. And then I don't think that they have anyone who can stop Ledee in the paint. Like I always say about Colorado State, they are Charmin soft in the middle. And I think that it's going to be a difficult task for them to stop Ledee, especially if we start running this double post inside. That could create some problems for them. So I'm looking at this game as a must win for the Aztecs. Like we've got to get a couple of quad one victories on the road, not only to help our resume for the NCAA tournament, but also in the seeding, for the Mountain West Conference tournament, but just for the regular season Mountain West title. We've got to get some of these road wins, and we don't have that many left. I think we've got Utah State, we've got Nevada, we've got Colorado State. Those are our real opportunities to pick off one of these top tier teams in the league on the road. And so this is the one. This is the one we need. Let's go get it. I think the guys are going to be really fired up for it.
What do you think, Mike? Is this a must win? I do agree with Fiend. I think this is, if there's a road game that's the most winnable, I feel really good at playing against Colorado State. They're talented for sure, but I like our chances.
I mean, I think you got what, 12 games left, six at home, 6 on the road, right? Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say every game is a must win, but if other teams are continuing to win at the clip they're winning at, you need to start winning as well at that same clip. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind and get that lower seed. Yeah. I mean, this is like you got a week off to prepare for a team who do they play? They play Nevada tonight, and they're down at halftime at Nevada, and I believe they play Wyoming. They're at Wyoming on Saturday or whatever. So it would be very unbeneficial if we did not win this game. Let's put it like that. Because then you got Utah State at home, and then you got to go Tuesday, Friday to Air Force, and then up here at Nevada on the road. I mean, those are, I don't know. I haven't seen much of Air Force, but they blew out UNLV, but UNLV is schizophrenic, man. So.
Well, it looks like I'm froze, so keep enjoying my face right now.
And the thing that worries about me with New Mexico is I think they probably learned from what happened last year. You know what I mean? They kind of just completely fell apart at the end of the year there. And I think Patino uses that as a teaching tool, and these guys all came back and said, hey, we're not going to let that happen again. That's yet to be seen, but they seem like they have a different mindset than they did last year.
Yeah, I think they're just a better team than they were last year. I think their guard play is much better. They have that Donovan Dent, who is a fantastic third guard for him, or for New Mexico. That he was okay last year, but he was not playing at the level that he is playing at this year. And then JT Toppin is just he's playing at
Solid.
another level for a freshman. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk so positively about the New Mexico team. I know you call me Lobo Boy, and
I thought you were.
because
I'm
I've
surprised
been
you're not
just
watching the game. We had to move the podcast back for you to watch that game. What didn't we?
yeah.
Was that the one?
No, I've
But-
got it on tape. I'll
Lobo boy.
Well, I think I said at the beginning of January, I said if we can go 6-2 or 7-1 in January, I'd be happy. If we win on next Saturday or Tuesday, we go 6-2. Then we have 8 games in February. So Dutch doesn't typically lose many in February. I can't remember the stat. I know he had it last year, but he doesn't lose a lot in February. Not many, maybe 6 times over the last 7 or 8 years. So
Yeah.
let's you get to 6-2 through January, and then you get to see what you get to play Utah State twice, man. You play Colorado State twice. So it's right there in front of us. Just win, baby.
Yeah, I think that this game against Colorado, like we said, it's the most winnable game. The Nevada game's tough because we have to play at Air Force on a Tuesday and then play in Reno on a Friday. That's a tough turnaround.
Yeah.
Right? With Utah State, when we play them, I know we play them on a Tuesday, I believe. And they got to play at Colorado State on a Saturday. We play on a Friday, so we'll have a little more rest. But then we got to travel, and that's just I just think that's a really tough place to play in. And so I'm counting on this is the game of all the top tier games that we have left. This is the game that the Aztecs need to get a victory. I just can't see us losing 5 times on the road and winning the conference. That's my belief. But I think this is a crucial game.
Well, Colorado State is behind Nevada right now. Looks like Nevada's kind of taking it to them. Start the second half.
Yep, playing on the road too. Colorado State is.
I think the Colorado State game for us on Tuesday is the first time we've had more rest than our opponent.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
saying. We have time to prepare for them.
Yeah.
We're going to be rested. We're going to have time to work on things that we haven't been able to work on offensively, defensively, during this week. And from what I hear, I think I heard this on, I want to say it was the post game with John Schaefer, that every time we have a bye week, we get better as a team. Like we come out of that bye week as a better team. And so I'm expecting us to fire on all cylinders in Fort Collins next Tuesday.
All right. Strong words, strong opinions there. I think I feel good though. Feel good, guys. Whew. Well, unfortunately, on my end, guys, I'm having some technical issues. I see your beautiful faces though. You guys look great. You
look great too, Matt. Oh, that's me. Okay. Okay. No, it'll be fun, man. This is a good stretch of the year. We got 6 at home, 6 on the road. I think if we can go, well, man, if we lose 3 on the road, we go 3-3 on the road and win at home. That's 5 losses on the road. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams play out, man, because this could come down to the last game of the season against Boise State.
Let's see. Okay. All right, guys. Well, anything else we need to touch on? I know it's been getting close to about an hour now.
No, I mean, just enjoy the games, man. Like, just enjoy the games. It's always fun. It brings people together. Aztecs, watching it, having fun. But remember, it's just a game, and to go out and enjoy your family and friends and hang out with them and just realize that, everybody's day to day, man. You never know what you have next. So just enjoy your family and friends and enjoy the games together.
All right. Well, looks like I'm back. I agree with that sentiment, though. Fiend, anything on our way out? I know you said a ton. I appreciate you.
It's the best time of the year, man. I love college basketball. I love Aztec basketball. So really excited for the stretch of games that we're going to have coming up in February and then heading into March. Vegas, Mountain West Tournament. And then let's see how far we can take this thing into March, hopefully into April.
Let's just worry about Colorado State, you know. Hey, I do want to ask if we could put up a page for definitions on the Sons of Montezuma website, like bunnies, stuff like that. I don't know what a bunny is. Is that just a layup? Where does that come from?
Basically, yeah.
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 Okay.
Chip shot.
Chip shot.
Yeah, maybe we just put like a spreadsheet together for the older guys who aren't as hip as you guys with all the lingo and stuff like that. And then are we gonna do a live podcast up here when you guys are up here the Saturday after the game?
Oh, we'll touch on that. A live one?
Maybe.
Maybe you got good internet there.
We
Got
just
that
got
Reno,
internet.
East Tahoe internet?
Yeah, we just got internet up here in Reno. It's just a new thing, so it just came in through. You know what I mean? So
Congratulations.
thanks.
Well, if you guys got internet, make sure you're getting on the online shop. Support these guys, our clothing, and then support the NIL players. We do have one more player that's going to be joining, possibly two. So hopefully get you guys fitted in time for March. We've been doing this NIL thing from day one, and really appreciate all you guys' support. I know the guys do too. I know for a fact. So really appreciate you guys' support. Get those posters, get those tees, those hats, all the good stuff. I know the John Schaefer show is coming up at 9:30. He does an excellent job, so make sure you guys go support that as well. Tell them Sons of Monty sent you if you are in the comments.
Yes. Enjoy it. Have fun. Enjoy the weekend. Kind of weird not to have a game this weekend, but it's nice. Hopefully the guys get some rest, get some time under their belt with their family and friends and stuff like that, and we come out swinging to because I think we have one more bye, right? We get one more bye at some point.
I don't know, but like John Rothstein says, we sleep in May. Dean sleeps in May.
I like it.
Ball 24/7. This time of year. My favorite.
It sounds like Fiend's Mike sleeps in January.
All right, Aztec
All right,
flavor.
boys, I enjoyed
Aztec
it.
flavor. Aztec flavor. All right, thank you for joining us, Mr. Fietti, in the show. We'll do this again another time, guys. Everybody have a great night. Stay safe. Hope nobody was affected by the rain or the earthquake that we just felt earlier. And we'll see you guys next time. SonsofMontezuma.com. Go Aztecs, everybody. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs. Bye.